UETCL sells this power at 4.97 US cents and 4.7 something US cents. 4 point. You remember the president gave me a directive to reduce power up to 5 cents, especially for the industrial areas. But power from Karuma and Isimba is already at 4.9, 4.7. Power from Nalubale, Chira, because we finished payment of the loan, now goes for 1.9 US cents. 1.9. You see how cheap it is? Because we are no longer servicing the loan. So affordability is based on how much you invest into the electricity infrastructure, including generation, transmission, where we have substations. You have seen some of the substations, Kole, Oluyo, those who travel. These are huge installations that require huge investment, and then the distribution network. To reduce the cost of power, by the way, every year since I joined, maybe it was happening like that. Every January, when we are doing the tariff rebasing, every January we announce reduced tariffs. This year, we reduced by 1.6%. It may sound so small, but when you make a calculation, what that entails is the 43 billion shillings that we gave away. By reducing power by 1.6, you are giving away 43 billion shillings. That's why the reduction cannot be drastic, okay? Because we can't afford giving away billions and billions of money. I promise that we shall be there. I promise. We are working towards reduced tariffs. Next year, 28th February, Umeme concession is ending. That concession was costly because it was based on commercial purposes, commercial terms, where the return on investment for that company called Umeme is at 20%. That is felt in the tariff. So I presented to Cabinet a paper, my proposals, and they supported me. One, the concession will be allowed to naturally come to the end. It is coming to the end next year, 28th February. It's coming to the end. That is giving us room to negotiate better terms, where we are not going to see a 20% return on investment. Once we achieve that, the system that will come in place will be a kind of JV or partnership. Like the chair mentioned, Uganda Electricity Distribution Company was authorized to stand in for government at the moment where we don't have the Uganda Electricity Company, the National Electricity Company, which I am supposed to establish. So UEDCL is going to work with, it will be a special purpose vehicle. I know we are about to present again to the president, but my guidance I have given is that I don't want to end up with another system that will have a buyout amount at the end of the concession. End of the Umeme concession, we shall pay Umeme about 215 or 17 million US dollars because Umeme has been investing. So the system which is going to be the successor, I I don't want to hear about buyout at the end. I want partnership. I want partnership so that we continue working together. No buyout amount. But above all, the return on investment should not be double digits. How I wish that we can have a 9%, not more than 10%. That will see the tariff coming down. Thirdly, under the ESP, we are going to connect you for free. Short connections to those who have poles near them. Just do one thing. Wire your house using certified wire people. Get your certificate. We shall come and connect you freely because we want you to consume this resource. The more you consume, the more money ERA gets. And then the more regional offices we shall, open. So people have been stranded with the poles in their courtyards. Schools have been stranded. We shall connect you freely. We've been asking for more than 700,000 shillings to connect you. That one has been waived under the Electricity Access Scale-Up project. These are going to be short connections. But there are other projects that will involve long distance where business is being done. And as I speak now, there are only 3 districts that have not been connected to electricity. One is in Buvuma district, in the islands of Lake Victoria. 2 are in West Nile, Madiokolo and another one. Only 2. And it is because one district was cut into 2. That is a policy. Connect all the districts. We've connected all the districts. Karamoja, where every district headquarters has power. From the district, we are now going to the lower local government, which is a sub-county, a town council. And I don't have the figures in my head for the sub-counties or town councils which are not yet connected. But as I move around, I was in Bukanga, in Isinjiro recently, and I was told that only 3 sub-counties there have not been connected. Rugaga, Ngarama, and Kashumba, I think. 3 sub-counties. So before you talk about connecting village to village, you must understand government policy. So at the sub-county, this is where we expect a health center 3, which has a doctor and a theater. So we must connect power at the sub-county, but focusing at the parish where the health center 3 resides. We look at the parish where the seed school, because we are distributing computers, we want our children to do science subjects, to be able to have good labs. So in every sub-county, there must be a seed school. That parish which hosts the seed school is our priority. Before we give you power in your house, I will make sure I take power to that seed school, to that health center 3, to that value addition center 4, the maize millers, coffee millers. Those are our targets. And then lastly, we shall move to village by village. And at that time, we shall be having enough power. We shall be having enough network, distribution network. Wires will be running everywhere. And so our target is really to make sure that by 2040, no one is in darkness. 2040 or 2030. But it is important to note that you can't distribute what you don't have. If you're a mother, you have children, they are crying for food, your heart must be thinking about where to get that food from so that you can distribute it, not how to distribute. What do you distribute? So we have our energy generation strategy passed by cabinet. I presented it to cabinet to be able to generate 52,481 megawatts by 2040. At that time, 2040, during that period, I will be seeing all borders using electricity, e-mobility. I'll be seeing all industrial parks consuming electricity. I'll be seeing motor vehicles, Chira, will be producing, manufacturing vehicles. So, I would like to call you, look at how Uganda was in terms of electricity generation, benchmark megawatt. It was dad's lamp, lantern, etala ya tata, eyomukono. The rest of us on Tadova. When dad is not there, nobody lights his what? His land connected, and thank God that we have moved this journey. We are planning to develop our nuclear energy potential. And by the way, we are being hit left, right, and center by those who want to see Africa continue being in darkness so that we continue being their market. They don't want us to develop our petroleum resources. I quarrel whenever I travel. I quarrel with the people. And I tell them, you did it badly. We are careful. We have laws. We must get money from our oil so that we can invest in electricity. And we stop cutting down trees. I quarrel. So we are planning to develop a law. We are now at the final stages of consultation on the Atomic Energy Act. At one, I would like to see at least 1,000 megawatts brought on board. The potential in Uyende is 8,400 megawatts of energy. There are other areas. This country is blessed. We have geothermal, more than 5,000 megawatts potential from geothermal. When you go to Semliki, where you put eggs in that hot water, and they get boiled in Semliki, we shall develop it. This country has trained its sons and daughters. They are the ones who are going to develop it. We are not going to borrow people to come in Uganda. The engineers are here. Every time, I always authorize training. They bring me travel. I read, to participate in this conference, this training. Go, go, go. My team is super trained. My team on the petroleum side, super trained. Then on the mineral sector, my sister talked about, Betty talked about tapping the solar energy. We are blessed again to have the sun. There are countries which spend days when the sun has not woken up. Sure. About 4,000 megawatts per watt, the potential is there. But solar is expensive. Why? Because of the storage facilities, the batteries. The batteries are expensive. Don't worry. God loved this world, this country particularly, this country called Uganda. Because we have minerals which are critical in the power sector. Those minerals are going to be exploited. Cobalt can be used to make cathodes. We have copper. We have lithium, which is even used in telephones. Lithium is used in batteries. We will manufacture batteries from Uganda. Already we are implementing a ban on exportation of processed minerals. No mineral will leave the country. And I have mobilized other countries in Africa. We have formed an association, the Organization of Mineral Development for Africa. The ban is being implemented in all the other African countries. So those people who have been decampaigning us, the civil society and others, when they are introducing electric cars, they will need Ugandan minerals for the batteries. They will need Africa's minerals for the batteries. When I was in China recently, where the president sent me to go and talk for President Xi Jinping, because they were dilly-dallying in giving us money for the East African crude oil pipeline, I had to roll my eyes. And I told them, first of all, it is the Chinese companies which are dominating the contracts that are working on the East African crude oil pipeline. It's your companies. I mentioned them. And I also visited them. The company which is the factory which is producing the pipes, the factory CPP which is laying the pipes, the factory which is working on the storage terminal in Tanga, they're all Chinese. So I told them that we are in this business together. Give us the money. Secondly, you were coming up with electric vehicles. You will need Africa's minerals. Hey, by the time I left the room, the banks had agreed that by September, they will give us the money. Okay? From there, I went to Paris. There was a summit. I just crossed. I saw myself rotating the world like this. Again, the president sent me. I couldn't come back. In Paris, I gave a story, a true African story, actually story, where mothers cook using firewood, but with their babies at the back or around them in the kitchen. So they also inhale CO2. I gave a story of my sibling, my sister, the one who was following me, who grew up with our grandma. Our grandma had a fire in the house, Masida, in the house. They were cooking from the house. So this grandma asked my mom to take my sister who followed me at 4 years. That girl coughed. She was called Jennifer. She coughed, died at 25, but she coughed. Jaja was coughing. My sister was coughing. When I joined this ministry and we started talking about clean cooking and all that, I reflected. And I'm like, what killed Jennifer? That coughing, which could not stop. It might have come from the fire, the smoke. I stood in it and established clean cooking unit in the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development of Uganda by one Prince Benvoy of the UK. We are going to follow up this money. We shall establish the clean cooking unit in the ministry. We had started on clean cooking working with the ERA, where they even introduced cooking tariff to make cooking easier using electricity. There is a special tariff. We know how to calculate it. We worked on Mwana Mujimu section in Mulago. We helped in Amagunga. We are working with schools to help them use biogas instead of biomass, instead of firewood, instead of charcoal. Charcoal is becoming too expensive. Here we are implementing Executive Order #1, but people must cook. You implement Executive Order #1 to stop burning charcoal, cutting down trees. The question is, what shall we use to cook? That's why we are looking for this money, Mama Betty, to make sure that we bring the gas cylinders. We are about to sign an off-taker agreement with one company called Global Gases from UAE. We have allocated land to that company to establish a factory to manufacture gas cylinders from Uganda, and we shall be producing 500,000 gas cylinders every year, which we shall be distributing. We will make sure that payment is eased